I just finished the Battlefield 6 campaign, and all I have to say is just give me a second. What the fuck? Now, you gotta take my opinion with a grain of salt, because I'm a Battlefield 1 player. It's the one that got me into this franchise, and the one that set the tone for what I expect when it comes to the quality of gameplay, cinema, and story. Starting this review, or repuke, if you will, is a TLDR, and that means too long didn't read for you fucking boomers out there that stumbled onto this video. Get the fuck back to your union job and make fun of me already, man. The TLDR of this video is I didn't like it. The story seemed all over the place, lacked a cohesive identity, and seemed to play more along the lines of a Medal of Honor or Call of Duty campaign than a Battlefield 1 that I had hoped it would be. Now, for the rant with CSGO background video or some shit, I don't fucking know, man. This could be a black screen for all I know. All right, Jesus fucking Christ. Seriously, though, there's spoilers, so if you haven't played yet or want to, don't fucking watch this video. Or don't. I'm not your keeper, all right, you fucking dweeb. Battlefield, to me, as a fairly new addition to the fan base, was destined to be this franchise that saved me from goofy plot lines and cookie cutter gameplay. It was a constant beacon of what games could achieve if they loved their IP enough and fought to bring that love to the fan base. From battles so cinematic that I find myself so emotionally invested that I actually scream aloud as if I'm there, to gameplay so simple yet fluid that every player can adapt and design their own style while playing for endless amount of hours, it seemed that Battlefield was going to be a franchise that I could rely on to bring me something I'll love. Then I bought this game. I work two jobs, and I saved up after my bills just to buy this game because of how much I enjoyed the beta, and I looked forward to it, and have thus far enjoyed running around sniping as much as I can while blowing shit up with my friends in the multiplayer. But the campaign called my name, and I went to it with as much glee as a fat kid who sees all too familiar white van advertising candy that mom won't let you go near. The stingy bitch. The van says it's fucking free candy anyways. And as I played the first mission, I was met with exactly what I had hoped. The graphics looked amazing to me. The action was fairly immediate and understandable, and I gained that familiar sense of fuck yeah, I'm the hero, I'm a badass. And upon entering the Black Hawk Down scenario, I was fully believing to fight till I died. Until the Deus Ex Machina of a random helicopter swoops in, saving your character, and immediately beginning the chain of what I like to call the inability to die. Jesus Christ. Never in my life have I felt so disappointed that my character won't die. It's so insane. The amount of situations that you play in this game where it seems as if the world around you is splitting down the middle, like that one logging TikToker grabbed a hold of the Earth's bodacious booty and just fucking. You get the point. Almost, if not every mission, is met with, well, fuck, that should have killed me. Or, oh, okay, so here's when I die to advance the plot, right? And it never comes. Now, don't get me wrong. Upon realizing that this wasn't an anthology and was in fact a complete storyline, I had my initial doubts. Having grown accustomed to anthological gameplay through my mini playthroughs of Battlefield 1, I assumed and had hoped for a similar storytelling motif, but through the eyes of modern combat. And when I tell you I went in blind, I mean it. I just assumed it was going to be a battlefield set in the Middle East against a terror cell or something, and I was so down for it. Cacao! Give me that oil, baby! Rah! I didn't watch trailers, I didn't watch gameplay, and I avoided all spoilers going into this just to be able to give my most open and honest review. And I'm disappointed. Between your character avoiding death like it's his high school girlfriend that's a single mom with an all too familiar looking kid, and the story's incessant need to make your character death, destroyer of all things, you're left feeling as if there's no point to anything you do. Especially when you realize just after the first mission that you time skip to the future, showing that your characters are alive, and in between each mission, which is a flashback, you jump back to the lore dump that is these cutscenes, only to be reminded again and again that things aren't as they seem, and you, the audience and player, has to put the puzzle together. Except the puzzle is realizing that the square peg goes in the square fucking hole. And after about one or two missions worth of exposition, it's pretty fucking obvious. But let me give you a brief insight to each of the characters that you're around, just so you get an idea of how hard they flop. Carter was a badass to me. He felt like a real team leader and seemed to be a competent man doing the best with what he got, leading from the front and not backing down in unsurmountable odds. Though apparently he is completely blind to the pack soldier materializing on his corner that allows the big bad to get the upper hand and kill him, which is therein another example of you should have died, but for plot reasons, he just leaves you alive and walks away as after he kills your fucking team lead. Murphy could have been a badass start to the game. He had a great role in the whole Black Hawk Down situation, and he really gave off that Broken Arrow hero vibes. And then spends the rest of the game lucking his way through every interaction and never suffering more than the plot would allow. No loss, no injuries or nothing that's ever more than just, this is, next mission's next mission. Lopez was an interesting character for all of like 5 minutes. He was supposed to be the quirky, chirpy one that quiets down after getting shot by a sniper, largely due to some trauma or PTSD that's referenced later on in his reaction to the team getting shot at by another sniper. And what could have been a really influential scene discussing trauma and how it affects people of all races and archetypes is a throwaway like 5 sentences in like a 1-minute passing transition to load the next area, no cutscenes, and no seriousness taken on the topic. Heathcock, whatever the fuck is his name, and he's Discount Ghost. All right, he's Discount Ghost. He wanted to be Ghost so fucking bad it's insane. Literally forgot he was a character while playing. Couldn't give a fuck about him like at all. He's supposed to play a role, but I didn't care at all. Gecko was a cool character in concept. Initially seeming like a hotshot badass who is too cool for school. Yes, I wrote it down just like that. Too cool for. Sorry, what the fuck? And was an absolute beast as marksman. Absolute. What the fuck is this script? Absolute beast as a marksman. Lost a lot of her steam in the end scenes when the game refused to complement her playstyle and archetype by limiting movement, flattening the fighting grounds, and in an effort to involve drone warfare, managed to cuck the one saving grace of an idea for the entire SAM site level where you interact with the dam. But the absolute worst thing in this goddamn campaign is the world limitations. I don't know about you, but I remember playing the old Call of Duties, or hell, even recent titles like World War Z, where hordes of enemies would be coming at you. For example, like the Stalingrad fights back in the early Call of Duties, like Call of Duty 2, I think, where you were allowed to shoot them at those massive crowds. You could shoot out there, you'd get the hit markers, you could see the model fall, whatever, even if it was a low poly one. You'd be allowed to shoot them and get feedback on it. But in this game, during what's supposed to be the final act, the big crescendo, enemy soldiers will literally appear just a few meters away, but as a part of the background fighting and cannot be killed or interacted with. There are assets that are preloaded and are visible before activating, like the jet just outside to the left of the ship on the amphibious landing mission that you can turn your camera to and see floating stagnant just waiting for the cutscene cue, like a fucking bird hovering in midair. And the worst of all, the absolute thawing of Mariah Carey 3 months early levels of terrible is the aggressive, overly corralling, abusive, destructive, out of bounds designations. The dev team put in so much effort to finally give you some high ground or mountable surfaces to gain a vantage point. Nope. Fuck you. Nope. My bad. Nope. Get back to the fight, soldier. You're being a loser because 5 feet that away is 5 feet too far away from mommy's leash, and you could feel the backpack pulling you back to her side with the ferocity of an impending mission failure and chapter restart should you fail to obey Mother Dearest. It's safe to say that greatness wasn't too far away. Small decisions, like letting Murphy die in the Black Hawk Down situation, and the main character being on the recovering chopper, not knowing who he was or what happened, allows you, the player, to feel and understand just how fucked up the situation is, and sets in that all too welcomed and familiar tone that Battlefield 1 nailed. In the end, I'm not a game dev. I'm not a professional. I mean, shit, this is my first fucking video I'm making, and I'm sure it'll get lost to the endless waves of the algorithm. But I wanted to put my voice out there, and I wanted to, even if it's a small chance, let others feel as if they aren't alone in the way they felt throughout this campaign. Thank you for your time. Now go touch some grass, you fucking nerd.